Hello, everybody. Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. Welcome back to my weekly podcast entitled Right Service. Write your own paycheck, the path to making over $100,000 a year when writing service, because at this filming, over 20% of you are doing just that, making $100,000 a year or more writing service in the automotive industry, which means 80% of you are not. So if you're one of those 80%, how do you get to be one of the 20%? You keep listening to me. Tell your friends about this podcast. Get as many people as you can in front of this, whatever it is you're watching on. The bigger the audience, the better. If you're one of the people making $100,000 a year or more, and you want to make more than that, you want the job to be easier than it's ever been, have the highest survey scores, retention, everything else, you keep listening to. I got stuff for you. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to address how to have your best year ever. This is a great time of year to talk about this because this is typically when people are talking about it. Again, I'm going to show you how to have your best year ever. We're going to make 2019 the absolute best year you've ever had. All right? Now, over the next few weeks, what we're going to be talking about is this. I'm going to lay out a process to show you how to get this done. But there's 4 questions, basically, and 4 areas, if you will, that we're going to address. Number 1, where are you now? We have to know where you are right now and how you're performing in these different categories to get you to where you want to go. Number 2, where do you want to go? Do you want to make more money? Do you want higher survey scores? Do you want higher retention, higher gross profit? What do you want? Okay, so we'll talk about where do you want to go. Number 3, we're going to talk about what's holding you back. What kept you from getting what you're looking for next year, this past year? What's holding you back? I'm going to show you how to identify that so we can eliminate those things from your life and ensure that you have your best year ever. 2019, it's it, folks, I'm telling you. And number 4, how do you get to where you want to go? How do you make it happen? So that's what we're going to talk about over the next several weeks. But before we do that, there's some other questions we have to answer first before we can get into those areas. Now here's what I mean. You know, it's this time of year, it's always a very exciting time of year for me, both personally and professionally. You know, personally because a lot of the memories I have throughout my lifetime stem from this time of year. Around the holidays, it's when I get to renew a lot of old friendships, strengthen friendships I already have, see people I've not seen in years, talk to people that from all over the place. I mean, it's just a happy time, right? You get to see all your family and friends and whatever. So a lot of memories come for me from this time of year. It's also, though, a time of year that over the past, from time to time, has been a little bit uncertain for me, a little stressful, a little high anxiety, because I found myself over the years from time to time, especially when I was working for somebody else before I started my business, I would start to question what I was doing. You know, am I in the right profession? Am I doing the right job? Am I working in the right place? Am I working for the right people? And I used to really stress out over this a lot, you know, because maybe I was not getting everything I thought I should or what I wanted. But I found out over the years, I'm not alone in that. This is the time of year when most people start to have these very same thoughts, especially if they didn't have a year that met all of their needs. You know, so before we go any further, we have to address just those questions right there, you know. Are you in the right profession? Are you doing the right job? Are you in the right place to be doing that job? And are you working for the right people? So let's address those 4 questions today, and let's start with number 1. Number 1, are you in the right profession? And here's what I'm going to tell you. Yes, you're in the right profession. I mean, it's a profession that can offer you whatever you want. It really is a roadmap to whatever it is you want to accomplish. Now, here's what I mean. If it is your desire to be a service advisor your entire career, that's a very admirable goal. It's something you should chase and put everything into it because you can get pretty much whatever you want from writing service. I mean, I've got friends and people that I know who have written service for over 30 years who are starting to talk about retirement, and as they walk off these service drives after working on them for 25, 30, 35 years in some instances, they've had great lives. They're walking away with great pensions. I mean, they traveled, they raised great families, they had great homes, they drove nice cars. They really had a solid, good life to be proud of. It delivered everything they wanted, and it will for you as well. Okay, so if that's your goal, yes, exactly, you're in the right place. But if your goal is to do other things, maybe you want to be a manager, maybe you want to be a business owner, maybe you want to be a dealership owner, maybe you want to run a group of dealerships or a group of service centers. I mean, this profession can and what you're doing right now can lead you to that. If you want to get out of the retail side of it and get into the outside, if you will, think of all the vendors that support you, all the product vendors, the training vendors, the suppliers, the manufacturers. most of those people started exactly where you are today. I mean, this is truly a profession that can get you whatever you want. And let me share with you what I mean. Now, again, if you want to be a service advisor your entire career, that's very admirable. I know hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are doing just that, and it's a lot to be proud of. You can have a great life. But when I tell you this can offer anything you want, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. There is a car dealer in Indianapolis by the name of Gary Pettigo. When Gary Pettigo was 18 years old, he was basically a lot porter on a service drive at a place called Ed Martin Ford. It was a Ford store at the time. Now I think it's a Honda store, but it was a Ford store. And he just had gotten out of high school and got drafted into the Vietnam War. He went and served for 3 years, very admirable, fought, came back home, and really didn't know what he wanted to do. But Ed Martin called him and said, you know, we respect what you did for our country. We always liked having you work with us as a teenager. If you want to come back and work for us, I'd like to make you a service advisor. Gary accepted the invitation, went in and put his whole heart into it and became the best service advisor he could be. From that sprung him into being a manager, and he became one of the best managers, service managers, that one could be. That sprung him into being a general manager, and he became one of the best general managers he could be, and it was at that time that he realized that there was really big money to be made in auto auctions. So he teams up with a partner and runs an auto auction in the city of Indianapolis. They start to acquire more auto auctions because the more you have, the more you can make, right? Until they get it to a point where they decide to take it to the stock market, and they rebranded it and renamed it ADESA Auto Auctions. Here's somebody that didn't even go to college, right? ADESA Auto Auctions, and literally overnight from the stocks, they became multi-millionaires many times over. Each partner did. Gary went on to buy some car dealerships, and as a matter of fact, one of the Chevy stores he bought, when he took it over, it was delivering maybe 60 cars a month. Within 90 days, he had it delivering a few hundred cars every month. It became one of the big players in the city of Indianapolis. He invested in television. He invested in IndyCar teams. He won several IndyCar championships, the series that supports the Indianapolis 500. And in short, he had a very great life, rode off into retirement, a multi-millionaire, having seen the world, having lived in all these great houses and stuff. Literally, it's a profession that can deliver whatever you want, but it started with him being a lot porter and eventually a service advisor. So this is a profession that will offer you whatever you want, whatever your dreams are, in or out of the car business, whether it's one of the supporting things or it's actually in the service thing. It can offer whatever you want. But again, I want to stress, if you want to be a service advisor your entire career, that's something very honorable. So are you in the right profession? Yes, because it will deliver whatever you want. Now, are you doing the right job? That's the next question. Are you doing the right job in this profession? And the answer again is yes. Okay? Yes. You want to talk about security. That's what most people look for in life, right? Is security. You want to talk about a secure job. This is it. You know, if you're just in the top 50% of service advisors in the United States of America today, you'll never be unemployed. You know, with the national average in hours per repair order, including oil changes, at 1.3, just think about it. If you could get just a 2.0, like any of these service drives watching this can, because I've yet to step on a service drive anywhere that can't get to 2.5. So if you just got to 2.0, you're in the top 10% with your survey scores. You had customer retention over 80%. These are all doable things. I see them happen all the time. I've shown 1,000 people how to do just that. You'll never be unemployed in the United States of America. So if security is what you're looking for with a strong income and no education required as far as formal college goes, you're doing the right job. I mean, you're doing the right job. If your desire is to go up into like maybe management or business ownership or one of these vendors, it starts here. You're in the right job. You have to prove to the people, if you want to move up or out, you have to prove to the people that what you're doing now you can handle. Everybody knows this writing service is a very tough job. You really have to be on your game. You have to be sharp. You have to handle pressure. You have to perform under some odd circumstances, right? So if you can prove that you can be in the top 20, 50%, 20%, 10% of what you're doing, your path is set. So yes, I think you're in the right profession because it will deliver whatever you want, and you're doing the right job because until you can prove you can do this one, nobody else is going to look at you. If you were looking for security, the only way to stay secure is to get those numbers. So big yes to both those first two questions, okay? The third question, am I in the right place? And here's what I'm going to say, most likely, yes, because here's what I see happen. I see this happen more than not. This is one of the big areas right here. People get this time of year, maybe they didn't get what they want last year. Maybe they didn't get the income they were looking for. Maybe they felt like their bosses were giving a hard time. Maybe it was just a struggle. And so they start to look around and say, it can't be me. It's got to be this place. I don't have the right techs. We never have the parts. It's the wrong manufacturer. It's the wrong managers and the like. And they go someplace else. And guess what they find? Those people typically find when they go someplace else. They find the same thing. They're working for the wrong manufacturer. They have the wrong bosses. They don't have the techs. They don't have the parts and the like and the whatever. What I have found is when most of the time people ask, am I in the right place? The answer is yes. The problem is the people that ask that question aren't investing in themselves. You've got to invest the time in yourself. You've got to train yourself. You have to spend money on your education in this field. You have to dedicate a minimum of a half hour every day to train yourself to be the absolute best you can be. Okay? And train yourself to have the highest sales on your service drive. Train yourself to have the highest customer retention. Train yourself to have the highest survey scores. Train yourself to be, if not the best, certainly among the best. Among the best. Okay? And if all of that's happening and you still feel like you might be in the wrong place, then you might have a case. But if you can't say yes to all those things we just checked off, being number one, okay, then chances are it's you. And you not only want to compare yourself to the service drive you're on. If you're in a if you're working for somebody and they've only got one location, then being number one is what you want to be. But if there's multiple locations, how do you compare to the group? If there's a district, how do you compare to the district? If there's a region, how do you compare in the region? If there's national, how do you compare national? Okay? So again, if you're not amongst the best or the best, it has more to do with you, because I find that most people, when they ask themselves this question, are failing in a few areas. One, they're not training themselves. Two, they're not investing in themselves. And three, they're not holding themselves accountable to do what they know is going to make it right. So yes, you're probably in the right place. And then finally, number four, the final question we need to answer before we get into how to make 2019 your best year ever, next year your best year ever, are you working for the right people? Now again, this is a very close sister to what we just talked about here a second ago, because I found that most of the time you are. But see, what happens is people, they said, am I working for the right people? They don't like me. They never do what I want. I mean, I show up on time. I stay my whole shift. I go to lunch and come back when I'm supposed to. Sometimes they don't even take all my lunch, and they think that's enough. And they think somebody owes them something for doing what they're already paid to do. Okay? Chances are you're working for the right people. If you want to be noticed by your boss, then be the best. The people that are the best players, the ones who delivers are the ones who get the attention. And nobody owes you anything anyway, even if you are the best and they're not giving you that, okay? Nobody owes you anything. You owe it to yourself to invest time in yourself, money in yourself, resources yourself, hold yourself accountable to be the best you can be. I rarely find, again, these are the same kind of thing. I rarely find that when somebody leaves because they didn't like the people they were working for, they felt the people didn't like them, that when they go to the next place, they find the same situation all over again. The one thing they failed to do is look in the mirror. Now, if you look in the mirror and you're accomplishing all those things and you still feel that maybe you're working for the wrong place, you might have a case. But again, I'm going to say you're probably working in the right place and you're probably working for the right people. Look in the mirror. Okay, so now we've addressed all that you're in the right profession, because you are. Okay, it's going to deliver whatever you want. You're doing the right job, because you are. Okay, you're working in the right place for the right people. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to lay out the process for you on how to make 2019, next year, your best year ever. You're going to love this, so make sure you come back and watch it. So with that, I want to tell you, continue to enjoy the holidays. Call some people you've not talked to in a while. Go see some old friends. Get out there and enjoy it. It's that time of year, right? In the meantime, as you're doing that, go out and find as many customers as you can and get them so excited about your product that they not only buy it, but they give you perfect survey scores, come back so you get the retention, you make some money, you buy bigger Christmas gifts, you have more fun, you get to more parties, the whole like, because between now and next week, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to enjoy this most glorious of holidays, Christmas, and I'm going to go find as many customers as I can in the meantime and get them excited about my products and help them get it so I can get what I need out of it and continue to live the outstanding lifestyle that I have. Hey, my name's Jeff Cowan from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. Thank you for watching this week. I'll see you next week with the series, How to Make Next Year Your Best Year Ever. I'm going to show you how to maximize the opportunity. Take care of yourself. See you soon.